My name is Wallbank. I am the founder and lead investigator of Haunted Auckland. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to look into the mysterious world out there, and normality became boring, and so I started asking questions about everything in life, and had a mad interest in ghosts and monsters and UFOs and that kind of thing, so just set out to go and find some answers for myself. My role with ghost hunting, pretty much we're all a team, so our roles are pretty much equal. We're all out there looking for the same answers. We're all on the same journey together, so our roles within the team are pretty much the same. We all have various levels of expertise and knowledge and skills, so we put those to use, but we all come together as one team for the same purpose. At this stage, there aren't any gadgets out there or equipment that can actually detect or communicate with ghosts. What we're stuck with at the moment are a lot of theories out there about what ghosts are, what they're capable of doing, that kind of thing. So we try and work through those theories as best we can. There are various gadgets out there that can help us work through some of those theories, but they don't actually detect ghosts, or because we don't know what ghosts are. So, but we can work through theories. It's a start. I have moments of skepticism, but then things happen that I can't explain, and that kind of fuels my desire and obsession of it. So I've seen enough and experienced enough in my time. I've been doing this as a child, and I've experienced enough now to know that there is definitely something in it. I don't have all the answers, but that's all part of the search. And but I do believe that ghosts exist, but I'm at that stage where I don't know what they are. So that's the next step in my journey. Most interesting thing. We've had the odd sort of touchings. We've seen the odd sort of interesting shaped shadows, which we couldn't explain at the time. We've heard what could have been footsteps, which is always quite interesting. I had a torch thrown down a set of stairs. Various, I'd consider them minor things, little things that happen that just keep the interest alive, but nothing I'd consider major at this stage. Convincing. Well, nothing has convinced me yet that what I've experienced is in fact a ghost. I mean, we've had things move, we've had torches thrown downstairs, we've seen shadows, we've heard footsteps or what could be footsteps, we've had what appear to be interactions, not direct communication, but kind of interactions using our gadgets and things, but we're still unsure. We're still at that stage where things have happened, but we're unsure of what it was that happened and why they happened. So it's still a mystery. Nothing conclusive just yet, but lots of interesting things that happen that all sort of piece together that big jigsaw puzzle.
What's the worst thing that's happened?
This. People assume that anybody that researches ghosts has to be psychic or a medium. None of us are mediums or psychics. That's just not something we're into. A lot of people also think that we can talk directly to ghosts, that we have regular communication with them, and that's just not true. We don't. All we are is just a bunch of people that go out with an interest, and we're just looking for answers. And wherever that takes us, we don't know. We just take each case as it comes.
So one of the people that we interviewed said that ghost hunters are pretty much wasting their time and money. What would you say to that?
We hear that all the time. We hear that all the time. And it usually comes from people that have never done this, that have never actually got off their couch or stepped away from their computer to go out and spend time. in a haunted location, or an allegedly haunted location. It's only when you go out and start spending time in these places that you start to feel what other people are experiencing, and you start to maybe see what other people are seeing. I've seen enough now to sort of corroborate what other people have seen. We've gone to places like people, for example, this place here, people have claimed to have seen shadows moving around, people have claimed to have heard footsteps and things like that. We've heard with our own ears very similar things. So things do kind of tie in some points, but we've got to find out what those things are. But there are a lot of people think that we have all the answers. We don't. We don't have many answers at all. We're just in a search.
She said that she had a experience when she was 8 at her aunt's house. It was a 16th century Victorian, and she said that she saw a woman in grey attire with a hat who walked through a wall. Do you think that's at all plausible?
Anything's possible. Anything's possible in this. If somebody said they saw something like an actual woman and they can describe it in detail, we weren't there, so who are we to say that she didn't? She may very well have seen that. The going through walls thing, the theory about that is thought that perhaps maybe there was a door there at some stage, and it is a residual recording of an image that is just of a woman walking through a door, but now there's a wall there, so she walks through the wall. But I mean, unless you're there, you can't really decide for anybody. If somebody sees it, it's up to them whether it really happened or not. We can't say, no, you didn't see it.
Yeah, sounds fair enough.
Yeah. Well, my close friends know that I'm serious about this. They know that it's my life and it's what I've been doing. People that have known me all my life know that this is what I've been doing all my life. So they respect that. My wife, she works in mental health, and a lot of her work colleagues, when they hear that I'm into paranormal research, they're quite fascinated. And it's quite interesting to hear of how many psychologists, how many neurosurgeons, how many neuroscientists, psychiatrists that she works alongside have all had experiences or know of somebody or are related to somebody that's had an experience. They all have their own little stories to tell as well, and they're all quite fascinating. I was a bit intimidated when I went out to meet them all for the first time. I thought they'd be picking my mind, but no, they were quite fascinated, and some of the stories coming from them were great to hear.
That's always good that everyone's supportive. Yeah.
I think it's good to have a critical mind about it. I think a lot of people take it too far into the fantasy world, and their belief is very blind. They don't sort of actually look into the answers, they just accept. I would like to see a lot more people questioning things that happen. Don't just blindly believing, but questioning what's happening around them. I would like to see people thinking more, and in some cases it doesn't take too much thought to actually debunk something or work something out. A lot of people just naturally jump to demons, ghosts, that kind of thing, and I mean, it's fine, people can live like that, but if they really want the answers and they really want the truths, they've got to search and they've got to ask questions. They've got to be open-minded, but still be a little bit fixed in their thinking as well. I think a little bit of critical thinking and a bit of imagination could be a good mix. Well, anybody sort of wanting to get into this, I would say just read lots of books. Don't believe everything that's online, but read books, actual books, and read books by different writers coming from different angles in the research. There are a lot of researchers out there putting out books and articles, all coming from different angles, some more from a spiritual edge, more from a scientific edge, all different angles. And I say just read up on all angles, soak it all up, absorb all you can, and make a few decisions for yourself, and choose what path you want to take, and just see where it leads you. And you don't need lots of equipment, just buy a few basics like a video recorder, a camera, maybe an audio recorder, notebook and pen or something to write it all down, and just document, observe, and go to where the stories are. Pretty much what we do is we listen to the stories and we go where those stories take us, and which is why we're here. There are stories about this place, so we come here, and we come here often, and we spend a lot of time in this place, and we document everything, and eventually you get little bits of interesting incidents that happen and that you take note of. And if you do it enough, you start to build up this big collection of activity and incidents and evidence that you can use and try and work through.